Good morning, students. Now we are here to discuss about the question paper with respect to May 2021 attempt that was conducted yesterday due to COVID-19. So with respect to that particular question paper, now I just want to make an analysis or analyzation of the question paper, how the question paper was and how far this masterminds material is cope up with the examination standard, whether if the student is able to study our material properly, then in that case, is he able to answer the question which is given in the exam, and how far this particular question paper is a analytical paper or a direct theory question paper, and what about the guess questions? At least some part of the extent of this particular guess questions are matched or not, because in every attempt the guess questions may not cover 100%, but how far it is useful. And what about the material? So in my particular video I just want to make you a clear thing, how far masterminds material is able to withstand the question paper, withstand a question paper, if at all it is given tough or if at all it is up to the exam standard or not. That is the point what we are going to discuss now. Okay, fine. So the question paper section B generally deals with the GST. So now we are dealing with GST here. So with respect to GST paper here, section B will start with, already you know that in section B the question number 5, which is a compulsory question and no choice will be there in this problem number 5. In this problem number 5, so it is for 8 marks. You can observe here the question paper. See this? X Electronics is a registered manufacturer of electronic appliances. It made contract with the dealer that purchase of AC of the capacity 1.5 ton in the month of October 20 of the quantity of more than 50 units. We will entitle them for 10% discount. Interstate supply made during the month of October 20 is 50 lakhs. And there are some details that are provided here. Supply of micro oven is there, which is for some 15 lakhs. Supply of refrigerators along with stabilizer is being a mixed supply is there, and it is 40 lakhs. And supply of AC is also there. Its value is some 50 lakhs. So these are the details that are given. These are the details that are given here. So here intrastate inward supplies. These are the, in our terminology, generally they are purchases. Some details like raw materials, membership fee, trucks purchased. So these details are given, and in the same way the balances of ITC with respect to CGST, SGST and IGST is there. So all these details are given in this particular problem. So, and the rates that are applicable to CGST, SGST, IGST are there. Okay, like 9%, 9% and 18% respectively. And both inward and outward supplies are exclusive of taxes, and whatever the conditions that are required for availing this particular ITC has been fulfilled. So, and we have to compute the net GST that is payable in cash. So here you can observe that this particular question 5 is a mixture of chapter number 2 and chapter number 6 in our material. So in our material, chapter number 2 deals with the supply chapter, supply under GST, whereas the chapter number 6 deals with input tax credit. This particular problem number 5 is a mixture of these two things, and you can observe here this particular portion. So this particular portion is actually relevant to chapter number 2 and the remaining portion relevant to chapter number 6 ITC. Okay. So this particular topic which is there for 8 marks is approximately covered in our material as well as in some guest questions, in which proportion we will see that. See this question number 5. Question number 5. Two parts, two things are there. It is a mixture of two chapters. Chapter number 2, supply under GST, and whereas input tax credit, chapter number 6. So where this particular topic is covered in our material. Okay. Where this particular topic is covered under our material. So here there is page number is there, 2.24. We will see that. Wait a minute. With respect to 2.24 means some approximately 40 pages like that. See this problem number 30. Refrigerator, AC, stabilizers. Generally here LED TV was given in our material, whereas in this place micro oven was given. If you observe that, see the problem here. See the question paper, micro oven, refrigerators, stabilizers and ACs are given, and whereas in our material problem number 13, instead of LED TV, micro oven was given and some additional data also here given. Actually it is not there in this particular problem. So only the above data is given. Based on that you can compute what rate of tax that is applicable and what is the taxable value and what is the output tax that is needed to be paid, and all these things definitely we can calculate there. Okay, so the first portion of question number 5 is actually it is similar to, or it was covered under problem number 13, and whereas the rest of the question with respect to problem number 5 is here. With respect to problem number 5 is here, like raw materials, membership fee, trucks and opening balances of CGST, SGST, IGST and the tax rates that are given here. All these things are part of chapter number 6. So this particular chapter number 6, it is covered under some points here. Page number 6.19. So we will see that. You can observe here that, see this, the points that are there. Raw materials, ITC is allowed or not. Membership fee, ITC allowed or not. Trucks purchased for transportation of the goods, ITC allowed or not. This is the point what we have to discuss here. So, okay, ma'am. So, and these points are covered. You can observe that. See this, trucks used for transport of raw materials and raw materials. So these 2 points are generally covered under problem number 1 of material. Problem number 1 of material. Okay. And whereas another point is there, that is membership fee. It is also covered and another particular area, membership fees. So this particular point is covered under. So like this, these points are covered under material. In this particular question number 1, you can observe here in this question number 1, the majority portion, that means in the 3 points, 2 points are actually, they are almost as it is there in problem number 1. And after that, the remaining points like opening balances of ITC, all those things just like in problem number 3, you can observe here. No, it is, oh yeah, just like problem number 3. See this, ITC balances are there and rate of GSTs are also there. See this, the remaining portion is like this one, which is the just model. It resembles not the amounts, but the model resembles problem number 1 and problem number 3. It is a mixture of these 2 problems here, whereas in problem number 5, which is given in the exam May 2021 attempt, which is actually conducted yesterday, that is July 12th. Okay, ma'am. July 12, 2021. So here, this portion, that means this particular portion was covered under chapter number 6 in MM material with respect to illustration 1 and illustration 3. It is a mixture of this. If you observe that, almost it resembles of that material except the amounts. Amounts always will differ. Already as a CS student, you know that. But the model almost it resembles 90% of the problem here. Understood? This is a point you should remember. So if at all you are able to, read the masterminds material properly, then definitely the compulsory question 8 marks can be asked easily. This was evidence. And what about the guest questions? See this, the guest question, it is page number 14 and problem number 10. Page number 14 here. Yeah, in problem number 10, you can observe here that trucks used for transport of raw materials, membership of a club is also there, and raw materials is with some slight deviations. It is there in this particular guest questions. Okay, with respect to ITC, whereas with respect to supply chapter, this point was not covered in the guest questions. Okay, so but whereas with respect to ITC portion of problem number 5, it is covered to the maximum possible extent in the guest questions. Okay, ma'am. This is problem number 10 of the guest question. It almost matched up to some 90 or 95% what we can say of this particular problem number 5 ITC portion is matched with guest questions also. Okay. Now we will see the next question here, which is problem number 6A, which carries 6 marks. Goods used in constructing an additional floor of office building. Goods given as free sample. Trucks used for transportation of inputs. Inputs used in the trial runs. Confectionery items for the consumption of employees. Cement used in making foundation and structural support to plant and machinery. And some amounts are given against them. Compute the amount of ITC that is available with A Limited for the month of December 20 by giving necessary explanations. Assume that all the other conditions necessary for availing ITC has been fulfilled. Okay, here this particular 6A, which is given in this particular exam, is of chapter number 6 in our material. In Masterminds material, it is there in chapter number 6. Okay, sir, if you know we are able to study the Masterminds material, can we answer this particular question? Yes, definitely we can answer this particular question up to the maximum possible extent. Sir, is there any evidence with respect to that in your material? Yes, definitely there is evidence. I am going to show you. So this problem actually I told you is with respect to ITC. So now we are moving to ITC here. See this 6A. Input tax credit is the topic. 6 marks is there. And 6.45 and 6.17, problem number 1 and 9, you can observe here. See this, trucks used for transportation of include, just like it is a repetition. Okay, so you can observe here that, so trucks used in transport of raw materials, already we discussed that it was also there in previous problem number 5 and it is also there in problem number 6. Okay, so this point is covered in the problem number 1. And whereas with respect to rest of the points like free samples, trucks used for transportation of the inputs, all these things is covered under 6.45 page number. We will see them. Wait a minute. Yeah, you can observe here that the problem number 9 I have given you here in page number 6.45 in Masterminds material. You can observe that this point, cement used in making foundation and structural support to plant and machinery, inputs used in trial runs, food and beverages purchased, that means confectionery items. In another words, what we can say is here. Okay, so the point is here. See this, inputs used in trial runs. See this, inputs used in trial runs. Inputs used in trial runs. And another one, confectionery items for the consumption of employees working in the factory. See, this food and beverages purchased for the employees, almost synonyms, no? And next one, cement used for making foundation and structural support to the plant and machinery. Cement used for making foundation and structural support to plant and machinery. So it is almost there. And another point is there. Goods given as free samples is not covered here, but in theory it is covered in the classroom session. What I am going to say, this point is not there, is not covered. And whereas with respect to this one, goods used in constructing an additional floor of office building. And this point is covered actually in the another problem here. So, okay, anyway, so if you observe that, this particular problem number 6a, almost even the wordings of the problem number 6 is almost there as it is. Almost there, it is as it is in our material. You can observe that. That's why many number of times I told you that please do classroom discussion problems, assignment problems, and additional problems for self-practice. If you are able to do that, definitely you can get, apart from choice, one question maybe, because even though Masterminds is the pioneer one, sometimes we may not be able to grab 100% from our material. But many number of times I told you that almost 95% of the question paper will be there from the material only. So if you are able to study the MM material, whether it is with respect to theory part or whether it is with respect to our GST, what I am going to say to you is the classroom discussion problems, assignment problems, and additional problems for self-practice, if at all you are able to do them thoroughly, then definitely what happens is you are able to answer 95%. That means out of 40, definitely you are able to score a minimum of 30. That was the assurance I just gave you in the class itself. Now I am showing the evidence with respect to that. If you are able to study the Masterminds material properly, then there is no need to refer any other book. There is no need to refer any other book. That's why I told you many number of times, students, please use only one book from the starting of coaching until the completion of exams. That is a major thing in any theory paper the student should remember. Understood what I am saying? Because if you are able to study only one particular book from the coaching until the completion of the exams, definitely what happens is those things will actually there in your mind. It will be easy for you to recap everything from the book itself. Just what happened in your childhood. Remember those days. In your childhood, when you are in school, that means when schooling is going on, if at all any unit test, slip test, quarterly exams will be there. Na? In those days, if you observe that, that means if anything you just forgot to write in the exam, if you just close your eyes and definitely including the page number, you will see on the screen of your mind. Sir, in schooling it happens, sir. In schooling, it will happen to every student. Because he will repetitively reading a single book. That is the advantage of schooling. For slip test, you will refer the same book. For unit test, you will refer the same book. For quarterly exams, you will refer the same book. For half yearly, you will refer the same book. For final exams also, you will refer the same book. But whereas in CA Inter, the many number of students will do in a different way. In classroom, because of faculty or because of management, if we will follow the book that is given by the management, that means the institute, whatever the institute studies. And after that, after the completion of coaching, maybe many number of people will gather in study hours. At the time, he will see sir, this book is so much colorful, so I will read this one. So he will start reading that. And after that, one student, actually one of his friend may come to him and told him that, yeah, this point is actually asked in the exam as it is in this particular book. Wow. So I will do reading of this book also. That means he will study many number of books instead of studying the one book number of times. It will make a lot of difference at the time of facing the exam. So, my dear students, please remember the word I said, from the coaching until the completion of the exam, please follow one book. So, that book should be our in-shoot book. That means our masterminds material. Because I am not saying that because I am a faculty of masterminds. Because it's worth it. Because it's worth it, so you have to follow. That was evidence what I am going to show you now. So, now let us come to this problem number 6. With respect to this problem number 6, almost 90 to 95% of this particular question was actually given. Apart from these numbers, every word which is there in our material. This is another point you should remember. This is 6A. And guest questions may be, where is the guest questions? In the guest questions, page number 14, same question. It is approximately some 40 to 50% it was matched. See this one. So food and beverages is also there, and membership is not there actually. Apart from membership, trucks used, food and beverages, raw materials is also not there. Okay, so approximately some 40% of the topic was actually there. You should remember that one. Okay, ma. And the next one is 6B. Explain the composite and mixed supply. If a trader launches a package sales for marriage containing double bed, refrigerator, washing machine, wooden wardrobe at a single rate, he is issuing of invoice showing the value of each of the goods separately. Whether this is a case of mixed supply or a composite supply, explain. So this is the point. Generally, what I can say is here, what is the page number? It is a supply under GST. It is there for 4 marks. And page number 2.18, theory concept, initially it was. Page number 2.18. And almost it resembles this problem number 13 also. Okay, 2.18, wait a minute, we will go to that. This is a concept that is there with respect to composite and mixed supply here. See this, explain the term composite and mixed supply. Obviously, theory part will be covered. If the trader launches package sales of double bed, refrigerator, washing machine, wooden wardrobe at a single rate, he is issuing of invoice showing value of each goods separately. Whether this is a kind of mixed supply or a composite supply. You can observe here after theory part, see this portion, this portion what I am talking about in problem number 13 after theory. So Dandam Electronics has issued a single invoice indicating the price of each of above items separately in the same, and issues a single check. That means Akbar retail store has given a single check of 1 lakh rupees for all the items as a composite discounted price. State the type of the supply and the tax rate applicable in this case. So for this particular paragraph, the question that is given under 6B matched almost 90%. This particular portion. See this. Yes or no? Check this. He is issuing invoice showing value of each good separately, whether it is a mixed supply or not. Almost similar, no? Except a few things like items may change. Wooden wardrobe will be there, washing machine, refrigerator, double bed. The items name changes, but the concept remains the same. No? You can observe here. See this. In problem number 13, the last paragraph resembles this particular thing. So it matches except the names of items. Names of the items can be anything. But the concept almost 90% similar to the problem or similar to the one that is given in MM material. You can observe this one also. So, in MM material, problem number 5 matched almost 90%, whereas with respect to 6A, even the wordings of 6A is exactly there in MM material, and whereas the similar one is covered in this 6B also. Okay, you can observe this here. And what about the guest questions, sir? Guest questions here, page number 1, problem number 2. I think it is covered the theory part here. What is meant by composite and mixed supply? Theory part was given. That theory portion will be covered there. Wait a minute. What is the tax treatment of these things? That means, so this is covered in the theory part of this particular guest questions. If theory part is important, as well as the topics relevant to its practical aspects should also be studied now. So it was also covered in the guest questions part also to some extent, at least I can say that. This is problem number 6. And whereas with respect to this problem number 7, P Limited, a registered person providing following information for the month of October 20. Intrastate outward supplies are given 8 lakhs. Interstate exempt outward supply 4 lakhs is there. Turnover of exported goods 20 lakhs. Payment of IGST 1 lakh 20. Payment of CGST and SGST 45,000. Payment of customs duty on exports 40,000. Payment void for availing GTA services 3 lakhs. GST is payable on reverse charge for GTA services. Explain the meaning of aggregate turnover and compute the aggregate turnover of P Limited for the month of October 20. All the amounts are exclusive of GST. So in our material, these type of problems are covered under chapter number 3. So what is meant by the word aggregator? Turnover, we already know that all taxable supplies, exempted supplies, exports, interstate, having the same part, minus GST, minus RCM purchases. What is the amount we will get? Generally, it will be treated as aggregate turnover. That is the definition that will be there in every book, not only in Masterminds material. It will, because it is the definition. So it should be there in every book. So obviously, it will be there in MM material also. Now, this particular question, see this, levy and collection of GST, 5 marks. In MM material, 3.17 page number, and it is covered under problem number 14. The similar one, we will see that. Wait a minute, ma'am. What is the page number? Just I want to see once. Oh, sorry. 3.17. Okay. It's 3.15, 17. Yeah, this one. See this, in this problem number 14 of MM material, in chapter number 3, you can observe that here. The page number is 3.17, the page number. So, outward supplies are there, interstate transactions are there, exempted supplies are there, RCM purchases are there, exports are there. And based on that, determine, so see that. And additionally, whether he is eligible for composition scheme or not is given, but you are required to find out the aggregate turnover. So the one which is there here, some additional GST points are there, exports are there. Okay. So the problem that is given in our material in chapter number 3, page number 17, problem number 14, it is a similar one, but some additional points are asked in the exam. If at all you are able to recap the definition, then if you are able to solve this problem number 14 of MM material, definitely you are able to answer the question which is given by ICA in the exam also. Because some additional points are only with respect to GST. Just now I told you that with respect to GST, so all the items like taxable ones, exempted ones, exports, interstate ones have to be included. And whereas the GST and RCM purchases, these two are the amounts that are to be excluded. Okay. If you remember that particular single line which is there in our material, and if you are able to practice this problem number 14, definitely you can answer this particular question mark, which is given for how many marks, ma'am? 5 marks. So what about the guest questions here? It is page number 3 and problem number 8. Okay. Page number 3 and problem number 8. Yeah, see this. Page number 3, problem number 8. Same type of one, like intrastate supplies are given, and nil rated supplies are given, exempted supplies are given, RCM purchases are given in this problem. So similar type of problem is also covered under our guest questions in page number 3, problem number 8, which is almost some 70% similarity will be there with respect to the question that is asked in the exam and that is given in the guest question also. You can see that which is there on the screen. Okay, ma'am. And this is problem number 7A and 7B. XYZ Private Limited manufactures a beauty soap with the brand name Forever Beauty. XYZ Private Limited has organized a concern to promote its brand name. Miss Mahima, its brand ambassador, who is the leading film actress, has given a classical dance performance in the said concert. The proceeds of the concert were 1,25,000. I think this chapter is chapter number 4 in our material. Okay, that is exemptions. If you observe that, where is this? Exemptions. 5 marks is there in our material. 4.28, it is a straightforward question in our material, except the name of the actor was changed. You can observe that in the material 4.28. 4.28, wait a minute, I will move to that particular page. See this, problem number 6. I think, wait a minute, is it a classroom problem? RXL Private Limited manufactures beauty soap with the brand name Forever In. RXL Private Limited has organized a concert to promote its brand. Miss Ahana Kapoor here, in our exam it is given Miss Mahima. That is the only thing. See this. And the amount is in our material 1,20,000 and it is 1,25,000. See this. See. Miss Ahana Kapoor, its brand ambassador, who is a leading film actress, has given a classical dance performance. The proceeds of the concert worth 1,20,000 will be donated to a charitable organization. Whether Miss Ahana Kapoor is required to pay any GST. See this, ma? Okay. This is the point. So, it is almost, except these two names, like Miss Mahima, Miss Ahana Kapoor is there in our material, whereas with respect to 1,20,000, 1,25,000 amount is there. So, as it is, problem is there in our material, almost similar, okay. This is 7B, and whereas with respect to our exemption chapter, page number 5, problem number 2, page number 5 and problem number 2, page number 4 and page number 5, problem number 2. See this. In guest questions also, that question was given. That means that was there in material. It was given in the guest questions also. So say this, RXL Private Limited again appeared in guest questions. So I'm not saying that we're 100% accurate, because nobody is able to guess 100% of the question paper. If we are able to do that, definitely there is no need to refer the study materials and all these things. You can study those actual important questions only. But guest questions will help you which areas to focus. I am not saying that guest questions is a substitute for hard work. I am not saying that studying guest questions only you will pass. But guest questions will guide you to which areas you should focus more. The areas which you should repeat number of times. That is the point I am saying with respect to guest question, my friends. Don't actually confuse with, okay, if mastermind's guest questions are studied, definitely I will pass. So apart from guest questions, no other question is needed to be studied. I am not saying like that. I am saying these are the most important areas you should put your more focus. That means with respect to these areas which are there in this particular question paper, guest questions, you should read a number of times. That is the thing I am saying, friends. Don't be confused with guest questions is a one and only solution, I am saying that it is the area which you should more focus on. But I never said, as well as the management never said, studying guest questions alone will lead you to success. We never said those words. Please remember those things. Guest questions will make you to focus more on productive part. That was the thing what we are trying to do in our institution. After completion of the syllabus, a student should know a smart work, how to get the exemption, how to get the good marks with lesser preparation time. So in order to do that, we are actually giving some important area which the student should have the more focus. But we are not saying that. We are not saying that studying these guest questions alone you are able to pass. But these are the most important areas you must study in order to pass. Okay, that is the point you should remember. So this question is also covered under guest questions. So next, let us move to next 8th one here. So he is required to use the same points are there which is given in that MM material. And 8A, explain who is required to furnish final written. That is direct theory question it is. The time limit for filing the final written and the late fee for the delay in the final written. So it is with respect to chapter number 10 in our material returns chapter. It is covered under 10.10. Wait a minute. I will move to that particular page. So this is the topic that is there with final returns. Who are required to file the final return? What is the due date? And and default. With respect to any default is there, then what is the position? Late fees. Okay, late fee. All the late fees are covered here. Okay. So this is the theory part that is covered in our material. So if you are able to study that particular theory part, you are able to answer this particular question. So it is a direct theory question. So the topic will be covered in material. So it is there for 5 marks. Sir, what about these guest questions? It is not covered under the guest questions. We thought that it was actually given before 1 or 2 attempts back. That's why we thought that it will not be given, but it is given in the exam. Okay. And next one is with respect to registration, 8B. 8B you can observe here. Examine the following cases and explain with reasons whether the supplier of the goods is liable to get registered in GST. That means whether registration is required or not. That was the question. So it is with respect to registration generally. Here, Krishna of Himachal Pradesh is exclusively engaged in intrastate taxable supply of ready-made suits. His turnover in the current financial year from Himachal Pradesh showroom is 25 lakhs. He has 2 more showrooms, one in Manipur and another in Sikkim, with the turnover of 15 and 18 lakhs respectively in the current financial year. Like that, some points are given. Each one is independent case. Ankit of Telangana is exclusively engaged in intrastate taxable supply of the footwear. His aggregate turnover in the current financial year is 25 lakhs. Akash of Uttar Pradesh is exclusively engaged in intrastate supply of pan masala. His aggregate turnover in the current financial year is 30. Like that, the point is there. So you can observe here. In page number 3.14, a similar problem is there. Okay, I will make you to look at that one. See this one. Examine whether the supplier is liable to get registered in the following independent cases. See this? The heading is also like that only. Examine the following cases, explain with the reasons whether the supplier is liable to get registered. Same heading is there now. And here names will change. Krishna of Himachal Pradesh exclusively engaged in intrastate supply of ready-made suits. See this? Intrastate supply of ready-made garments. Names will change. Here Raghav of Assam. Here Krishna of Himachal Pradesh. Okay. And first point is covered almost. Second one, Ankit of Telangana exclusively engaged in intrastate taxable supplies of footwear. So footwear. Here it is shoes. You can observe that. Yes or no? Shoes, footwear, almost similar one which is given in the exam. And engaged exclusively in intrastate supply of pan masala. See this? This is intrastate supply of pan masala. Only these three are asked, these two. Ankit, names are also sometimes matched. Okay. So, in this particular problem number 1, first ABC points are given. Just with the name change and some minor changes are there. So, that's why I am saying every time. So, please keep faith on our material. We will make a proper research. And we are having a proper research team, which is actually analyze every exam paper pattern, and we will change our material according to the paper pattern which is given in the exam. So, this is another example for if you are able to study the problems that are given in Mastermind State material, you are able to answer the question which is given in the exam. And this one is the only thing we did not cover in the material. But actually, we just covered this particular GST practitioner under advanced concepts. Generally, it will not be given to the students. But if the student asks the management to provide them, sir, we need to study something more, those people only will get this advanced concepts in GST, which is the 11th chapter. We just prepare it like that. From that particular advanced concept, this question was asked. So, this is the only thing that is not covered in the Masterminds material. Main material, actually it is there as a part of 11th chapter, which is named as advanced concepts. Generally, those things will not be discussed in the classroom. So, that's why I am saying that this one is not covered in our material. Except this 5 marks, everything is from material only. And in the same way, this point is also not covered under our guest question. Okay. Already I said that guest questions are meant, sometimes they may match and sometimes they may not be matched. But the damn sure thing is always it will be matched with MM material. So the only thing that was missed from MM material is this thing only. This is the only concept that was missed in our material. Okay, except this 5 marks, rest of the questions can be answered with utmost confidence if you are able to, if at all you are able to study the MM material. So, these are the questions that are given in the exam, and I actually showed you evidence with respect to where they are covered in our MM material, along with the page numbers and all these things. And if at all these things are covered under guest questions, I just showed you those things. If at all they are not covered, I just said honestly and frankly they are not covered. So the one and only question that the Mastermind student may not answer is this particular GST practitioner. Apart from that, everything is a cakewalk for our students if at all they are able to study the Masterminds material properly. So I hope all of the students actually read that particular material very well, and I hope all of the students actually wrote the exam also very well. So God bless you all. Thank you.